At the beginning of the story, we are shown that there is a dangerous chemical attack on the American state in the future in which many people lose their lives, and there are only two ways left for the survivor. Either he becomes a part of a gang which he always fights to conquer some territory, or his life after that. We are shown a guy on the other side, named Mark, who is packing his car and probably preparing to go on a trip with his wife, named Nina, because the purpose of his visit is to find Nina's parents. At the same time, his friend stops him and tells him about the difficulties on the way, that the journey is very difficult, he should not go, but Mark does not listen to him, and he wants to go with his wife because maybe she still loves her. But despite wanting her before the attack, Mark and Nina go away from there to get a divorce, and on the way Nina hears some things through the radio where she is told to be careful of snipers and to be careful of people who wear dirty clothes. And it is said that they shoot such people immediately they see them. During this, Mark and Nina's car breaks down, and they go to an abandoned garage, where Mark tries to fix his car, and three men enter the garage where they do not notice Mark and Nina, and Mark tries to go inside slowly his car, but another car enters on the other side where three more people are present who are dressed like ghosts, and they open fire on these three people and kill them. At the same time, Mark and Nina get scared seeing all this and try to start the car, and finally the car starts, after which the city gang sees Mark and Nina and start firing at them, but Mark and Nina, they happily run away from there, and during the journey they encounter something. They overhear more conversations where they learn that there is a fierce battle going on between the city's gang and the Kneelers gang that afternoon, and they head to an abandoned house where Nina and Mark stop and investigate inside the house, after which they find the dead bodies of the couple on a bed. After examining them, they learn that the couple was tortured and killed, and on the other hand, Mark's wife Nina tries to contact him, mom, through the old radio, and we are there. The night scene is shown where Mark updates his map, and after that they fall asleep, but during this time there is a man outside their house who keeps an eye on them, and on the other side, we are shown some people, and they are beating a man badly, so that they call Nina. As soon as the man tells them Nina's address, they also kill him, who are actually the Kneelers gang people. And on the other hand, we are shown Mark, who is seen on the bike of the Kneelers gang people outside his house. Hear the noise of. After which they go to a secret place and try to find and tell about the incident by wearing headphones, and during this time the people of Kneelers gang enter this house and find Mark and Nina, and then Mark kills Kneelers with the help of a screwdriver. Kills a gang member, after which he leaves the gang. He goes to the owner and kills him. After that they leave with the car, but they do not realize that someone is watching them on the way, and on the other hand, they come to know during the journey that a member of Cherry Gang is fighting for them. Used to be. They protect the women, and if anyone comes in their way they kill him, and during this they go to supermarket to buy some goods, and when they enter inside they are followed by a man who has his face masked. It is covered with paper, and during this time the people of Kneelers gang get very nervous, but during this time, the man takes off his mask and shakes hands and reveals his name as Najin, and tells that he has been keeping an eye on them for quite some time, so that he can know whether they are friendly or not, after which Kneelers gang, some people see them and come there. All three of them hide, after which they go to Nina's house. During this time, Nadine's son Steven shoots and kills them, after which they leave, and Nadine invites Mark and Nina to her family's dinner, and as they start moving, people they are stopped by a gang of guys who are actually members of Prey. A gang of boys where the leader of the gang tells them that they are looking for a woman named Betsy, and they find out that she is present in the gambler's truck. During this conversation, the gang leader sees Nina, and Steven loads his gun at the sight of her, but the two remain on good terms, being Nadine and the leader of the gang. They let them go, and in the next scene, we are shown that Mark and Nina are sitting at the table with Nadine and her family, and everyone is very happy, and Nadine's wife tells everyone serves food, and after dinner, Nadine and her wife also dance, and on the other hand, Nadine tells Mark that the burger they had was made of human meat, and Mark gets very scared, and his condition starts getting worse, and after this Mark tells Nadine not to tell Nina all this, and then she leaves. Decides to leave, but Nadine tries to stop him, and this time, again leader Nadine shoots Nadine's daughter, and goes inside, and asks Nadine to hand over Mark and Nina to her, but meanwhile Nadine's son Steven comes there, and cuts her leg, and then he fires his gun, but Nadine's wife is shot. After which Nadine's son Steven attacks the gang leader Mark, and Nina flee the place with Nadine's car, and on the way they have a fight, and then the gambling gang notices them, after which they spin a wheel. Spin the wheel. After that he stops at one place, which means now they shoot, and only then they shoot. Nina gets a scar on her shoulder after seeing this. Mark gets very scared and turns the car back towards the city and then drives away. Nadine calls the gang leader of the Playboys and tells him he hopes that he can give information about Mark and Nina, after which the gang leader will become happy and goes to them to find the rest of the gang. But then he finds that everyone is dead, after which Deadsy attacks him from behind and renders him unconscious, and during this he rescues all the women from there, and there she takes everyone in the police car, after which he stops the car and shoots at her legs, and there she feels some pain from the edge of the forest, and she leaves her keys in the car and starts following him, and on the other side, we see Nina, who wakes up from sleep, and she has a Patty is there, but she is not. She doesn't see Mark anywhere, after which she looks for Mark, but she gets a message saying that Mark has gone to find food, and when she tries to get out of the building, she also finds a note which says that the main door of the building is closed, after which she comes out through the window and enters the garage where she sees a car, and she quickly packs her bag and sits in the car. During this, she feels a guilt and thinks that she will not go alone, after which she comes back to this house where he finds a note saying that he should listen to music. And when he goes to the music field, as soon as she opens the drawer, she finds her favorite track with another note written on it in which Mark apologizes to her and asks her not to end the marriage, after which she realizes her mistake, and she doesn't go back, but plays her favorite music and drinks heavily while dancing. And on the other hand, Betsy sees him doing all this from the window, after which she leaves. He comes back and kills the Playboys gang member, and in another scene, we are shown Mark, who enters a house where he sees two people who are tied from behind, and when he faces them, when he removes the mask, he gets shocked because they are Nathan and his son Steven, and a man who is the leader of the gang comes after Mark, after which he tells Mark to put the gun down, and also tells him to fight a powerful man. His name is Bill, and he says he has to fight until he dies, don't go, because if he doesn't do it, he will kill Nathan and Steven, after which there is a powerful fight between Mark and Bill, and during this the gang leader gets shot, after which Mark saves Nathan and Steven, and they all go back to their home. And on the other side, when Mark returns home, he finds Nina unconscious, who he picks up on the bed, and when Nina regains consciousness, she sees Mark doing ting practice, after which she also goes to Mark, and during this time Betsy is present, who comes to their room to find the wedding ring, and on the other hand, Nina, after a practice shoot, she takes Mark to a garage where she gives him a car, shows up, and tells him that he got this car. After that, they remember the past, and they come closer to each other, and then gamblers come who catch these people, after which they catch these people, and then they spin a wheel, after which they guess what happened to these two people have to do, and after the wheel, while roaming, they put him in a cage and take him to the hotel headquarters, and after reaching there, he sees a strange environment where people are fighting with each other in every corner, after which the receptionist takes his name and understands. It is said that these people are married, and after this a game would take place to begin with. They both have to shoot each other, after which Mark and Nina are made to sit on a table with one hand tied to a chair and the other painfully pierced with a gun, after which the host starts the countdown, and the game begins, in which both of them they shoot at each other, but no one dies. This time a bullet is fired from Nina's gun, which goes straight to Mark's shoulder. Seeing this, Nina gets scared, but in the meantime, she frees herself, and she snatches the host's gun and kills him, after which they resort to the gun, and when they Wanda, the leader of the gang of gamblers, tells them to let them go for now, and as Mark and Nina start to leave, all the gamblers run away to get their guns. After which they sit in a car, but then they see AA's sniper appears, after which Betsy kills them, after which Mark and Nina succeed in trying to escape from there, after which Wanda tells her gang to shoot at them, but they do not get shot, and luckily they are there. In the second scene, we're shown that Nina is at her parents' house, where Nina's neighbors tell Nina that her parents have died due to an illness, after which they give Nina a letter which after reading, she cries a lot, due to which later she goes to Mark and they talk, and during this time she goes to meet Nina. Family friends arrive named Bill and Betsy. She is also present there watching all this, and she hides in the house opposite Nina so that she can keep an eye on her enemies, and during this time Nina sees Bill talking to someone on the walkie-talkie. As soon as Bill knows, when he realizes that Nina is watching him, he runs away, but Nina curiously follows him, after which Nina finds out that Bill is part of Kemmler's gang, and then Nina sees a little girl on the street outside her house, after which she quickly takes her inside her house and asks Mark to protect her. Asks for and gives him a gun, after which he has to fight Kemmler's gang. She leaves, and on the other side, Kemmler comes there, and suddenly Nina starts firing at them from the window and kills some of Kemmler's men, and on the other side, Betsy also supports Nina and fires the machine gun and destroys a group of Kamler, and during this, as soon as Nina's gun the pills run out, a member of the Kamler gang starts loading. It comes from behind and starts shooting at him, but Mark attacks him from the window and kills him, after which Fonda plans to fight, but shows us there it is said that the neighbors standing on the terrace are also firing. After which Nina is one Kamler's gang throws smoke gas bombs, and on the other side a gang member enters Nina's house, and on the other side a gang member, who is wearing a wild cow mask on his face, enters Nina's house, after which he attacks Mark, and Mark has a fierce fight with him, and this Mark takes his horn off his mask and stabs him in the chest. He dies, and while hiding, Betsy discovers that she has been shot, but then a group of playboys arrive who take Betsy's life. Was searching so that they could take revenge on the gang member, but he found Kamler. Nina gets caught in a fight, after which both the gangs start firing at each other. During this, the Playboy's truck easily breaks the car barrier, after which Nina activates the barbed wire, after which the truck touches the wire, and a huge explosion occurs, and the truck is destroyed. And during this, Nina's neighbors kill the last member, Kemmler's gang, after which Wanda comes there and kills this neighbor also. And on the other hand, Betsy comes to Mark and gives him back Nina's wedding ring, but Wanda comes there and kills Betsy, after which Wanda plans to kill Mark. But Nina arrives, shoots Wanda, and kills him, and then Kamler's gang is destroyed, and during this, Nina goes to Pill's house to kill him, where she discovers that Pill is already dead, and there she finds Pill's arm. But she sees a tattoo that linked her to Kamler's gang, and there she sees her father. She picks up the favorite gun, and comes out there she sees the same girl on the road, and she thinks that maybe because of this girl Pill died, after which she comes to her house and gives the gun to Mark, and after that Mark he gives the wedding ring back to Nina, and just like that, everything works out between the two. They go on to travel again, so they can protect the other homeworlds and hunt down Kamler, and this is where the story ends.